Alright, so here we are back on the survival seed, still working our way through the castle. As you can see, this has shaders at the beginning. I don't play with shaders for the majority of this, but I just thought the moon looked really cool and the castle was looking amazing, so kind of got excited about it. I do kind of wish that I had built the castle kind of going the other direction, where the sun coming up would go through the window as opposed to going down, because going down gets cut off by the mountain, but oh well. I also started filling in the gaps on the sides of the walls. I followed the pattern again from the video that I had seen on the other one, and it used polished andesite, which I thought was kind of cool because I didn't use really too much andesite on my other building. But I also didn't get very far on texturing my building on my hardcore C, so that was a bit of a bummer. But it was just a general repeated one where I just have andesite on the main opening. I've noticed whilst continuing to build, that I'll probably have to fill it in with glass, because the other day when I was building, I was standing, it was during the day, but I watched a spider kind of crawl over the wall and into it. And eventually I would kind of like to move my villagers into the castle, or kind of maybe an attached building or something, so that they're a little bit more protected than in my current village in case I end up accidentally spawning a raid, which is entirely a possibility considering how we ended up with one last time. So I just think that I would prefer them to be in a more stone covered building where nobody can get to them and they can be safe, so I don't have to break the villagers out of my iron farm, which is actually working really well right now. So we'll see. And while I am continuing to work on this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down below. One thing that is a bit of an issue is the fact that mobs tend to spawn in here, even though I put a bunch of torches around. I later on found out that some of the alcoves that I have and these little gaps, they were spawning inside that archway right up there. That's where a lot of skeletons were being done. I didn't put it in this one, but I actually had a time lapse, and you can see me building, and then all of a sudden you spot this skeleton just drop down right behind me. I started working on the kind of glass dome that I did from last time. The one part that I really am annoyed about is because when I made the general design of the castle originally from the hardcore world, I didn't build it in, I don't have a copy of that world obviously because it was hardcore, and so it got deleted. So I can't go back in and measure to see how the glass dome works. I mean, it works fine. I'm comfortable with how it turned out, but I kind of miss how it was set up from the last one, and I just couldn't get the general size and scope of it to work properly. But I think some of that has to do with the fact that I changed my towers slightly as well. And then because I was using a bunch of glass, I decided to make another portal to a village. So looking at the seed map, I picked one that was also conveniently close to a mangrove forest so that I could get some mangrove stuff, even though I forgot that I'd already gotten one from a wandering trader. So this was slightly pointless, except for the fact that it also had a village nearby. So I decided that I would come and rob this village of all of their good possessions, which was kind of nice because this one actually had like a full-on librarian, so I was able to get some of their stuff and a whole bunch of wheat for building later. And then there was this room portal nearby, and I kind of wanted some obsidian so that I could build another portal to a different location, probably a spruce forest or something along those lines. And so I started going in and digging out all of this obsidian, which was taking forever. But I needed it so that I could make the other portal and get going on it. and I just kind of kept going at it and going at it. And I saw that there was some magma blocks nearby, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, and I didn't think too much about it. And then I was like, huh, that's a little strange. And then this lava came in, and I was like, oh, this is not good. So I started building my way up with this stone, but I didn't start doing it soon enough, and I died. So without waiting a heartbeat, I knew that I had towered my way up just enough to make sure that there wasn't any lava actually on me. So I decided to head out and see if any of my stuff survived. So I made it back to the place. You can see from the light where the lava was, and I was like, okay, this is it. We're going for it. So we headed over to it. We saw the lava, and there's all of my stuff, and then I fell back into it. And because I didn't have any armor on, I instantly died. And that destroyed me. So I went back again because there's always a chance that something might have made it. You never know. I had at this point traded with some of my villagers, but I knew that these chunks weren't loaded at the time, so nothing was going to actually have despawned from this point, which was kind of nice. So I returned. This is like a 5-minute walk to this location using the nether roof, so quite the journey. Anyways, so I returned over to this location again. I'm gonna say once I should lock off this portal. Nobody should ever be able to enter this location ever again because it just causes nothing but trouble. And then the skeleton started attacking me, and so I took him out. And then I kind of looked at it, and I had this stuff on, and I don't ask me why. I just jumped into it, and then I towered my way up. There was a better way of doing this. There was a better way of problem solving the situation. And then this weird looking zombie started attacking me, and I wasn't on my sword, and so I started attacking him, and yeah, and then I just kept burning, and thankfully we made it to there, and I did get my shoes from beforehand because I had forgotten that I had put netherite on them, and so I got my shoes. But all in all, it was quite a bit of a journey just for some hay. I also, unfortunately, lost my elytra because of this, so I decided that I was going to head out into the end to get an elytra. But because I had already taken it from the closest location, I had to travel even further to the next ship, nether ship or whatever, in order to get an elytra, which was, again, another bummer. I also brought way too much stuff because I was in quite the hurry to try and get my elytra back before I started building the castle further, because I didn't want to fall and, lose all my precious levels that I worked apparently very hard for. So there was unfortunately a couple of shulkers, which was a bummer, but we were able to quickly slip in here and take this guy out since we were up on the top. Over there, I actually got knocked off, and so I had to get back up. Anyways, so we got what we were looking for, an elytra, and part of a shulker shell, which I know that you need 2 for in order to do anything of note. Curse of binding. Unfortunate. All in all, some stuff was useful, some stuff wasn't useful. We took it either way. I did also, one thing that I lost that I was really annoyed about was my sword, because I had worked so hard on it, and I had gone so far as to get another villager to get looting 3, but then I realized that one of my other villagers had actually worked it up so that I didn't need it. Anyways, I got my elytra back, which is all that I wanted, but one thing that I did not take into consideration was the fact that I had come all the way out here with one very important thing that was, you know, kind of missing. A pumpkin. I did not have a pumpkin on my head. So when I went to go get this other shulker, you might be able to see him in the window there, but there is inconveniently an Enderman standing right there. And so he came and started going after me. And this had happened a couple times on the journey, but I had been able to outsmart him. But this guy just really just took it out, and I died. And with that, I think I'm going to see you guys next week. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks. Bye.